Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Ted Chan, and today I'm going to talk about practicing storytelling, how you can write a story and then make it an interesting one.
So first of all, you want to choose a topic, a story topic, redundancy in 2020 lockdown. Okay, and then write a rough structure of how the story went. COVID hit, then went into lockdown, getting back on my feet. Right. So that is the rough story of the redundancy in 2020 lockdowns. And then the next thing is to remember more details and add flash into the structure. So this is the story that I wrote very quickly to capture some thoughts and details of the story of how it went. But basically just proofread the spelling, the grammar, and if any sentence that is hard to read. All right, and then come back and do some research of what kind of storytelling techniques that is out there. Do some Google research, YouTube research, learn a few key points, and then write a summary that the technique you can apply. So this video is from David. He's talking about the magic of storytelling and then the science behind it. In a nutshell, he believes that storytelling is all about audience attentions and their needs for hormones in very fundamental levels. He referred it to as angel's cocktail and devil's cocktail. So angel's cocktails are a mix of some hormones for the like of dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphin. And the devil's cocktail, on the other hand, consists of cortisol and adrenaline. In this video from Charisma on Command, talking about three principles of master storytelling. So in his video, he shares some techniques. Um, so firstly, is to take people on an emotional journey. These kind of relate back to what David just did there in the tech talk. Um, so you take people in an emotional journey, share what you feel, what you see, what's the feelings you've been having, and take them right back to that moment. And secondly, is to keep the audience engaged. You're after a section of stories, you're gonna introduce to the next chapter. But before you do that, you open a cliffhanger or a sort of mystery or a twist that keep people wondering what's gonna happen next. So this increases the dopamine of people and keep them focused and engaged. And apart from those emotional journeys, there are stories that just make people empathetic. And there are stories that just makes people feel empathy and then in a way relates to what the speakers is kind of expressing. At the very end, you give your audience a summary of things that a lesson that they can take away from. All right, let's recap. We need the premise of the context of the story. We want to take our audience into an emotional journey. We want to add and emphasize the mystery, the anomaly, the twist, the problems, these kind of uncertain things that add into the mist. And that is a cliffhanger. So, which introduced to how the story is gonna unfold. And during the journey, you want to, how do you actually keep this emotion? You're gonna use some emotional words, gonna add some more vivid details into what's happening here and there and in the like first person view, and then add some stories of where you can feel empathy with, where there is laughter, and so you can build this angel's cocktail from your story and make it more engaging. And there is another side of the coins where the stories went to a point that you face a lot of problems, you have the cortisol building up, the adrenaline, use those very drastic words that is create that intense moments that is referring to as devil's cocktail. Angel's cocktail and devil's cocktails. It's kind of flip side of the coins, but that's what makes stories real and vivid and up and down, right? So at the end, you sort of wrap up the story with a summary or a lesson for your audience to take away. Okay, so coming back to what I have just rewrite the story again. So you can see that at the beginning, here's the premise. Like, leave a question mark. What is this all about? What the story is going? Where are we heading? So it's the failure of the mother of all success. So this is gonna be a story about failure and possibly how you find a new success. And I write down, I was like most people working from home, trying to work hard and keep the company I belong to afloat during the uncertain time. But I did not expect what was coming after self-isolation. I started to go back to work. Happy, that's emotional work, for the reunion of the old colleagues. But little did I know that it was the last month we worked together as a team. But suddenly, that is a twist of the story. The firm started changing some job descriptions, and people like me who weren't supposed to make sales, but then we had to pick up the phone and talking to other people and expand our customer. And I was shocked, to be honest. I was very shocked. I was like, why are we doing this? And this is the first signal that my company showed that we were struggling, right? Then 2 weeks later, my colleagues and I get called into talking one by one, then in a group manner discussing the future planning, which is, I think it's a nice term just for letting people go and we cut budgets, really. I was feeling this drastic change was quite unfair. See, that's another word. Unfair, that creates that is the cortisol and the adrenaline that's building out. I try to reason with HR. We had a horrible we had a horrible verbal fight, and then I stormed off. It was a heavy raining late afternoon, and I didn't use my umbrella. Luck was not on my side, and I didn't make the cut. But all of a sudden, there was a mist of emotions. Defeated, I feel defeated, disappointed, and downright doubtful of the future. Doubtful of the future. That's many emotional words there, because I try to express and share what kind of emotion I was feeling. So I turned to a friend for company I knew for good years. He is like a Kiwi grandpa that I never had. He retired 40 years after 40 years in service of Air New Zealand. I remember I paid a visit to David and sat on the couch. We put on the TV and chatted for a while. I'm holding up pretty good, trying to not mention that I'm jobless, and he sees there is something not quite right. I eventually told him what happened. He sat up, and immediately he sat up straight and turned down the TV and said, "Oh, that is sad to hear, Teddy." He held my hands with both palms very firmly. "You know what? I'm gonna teach you how to think positively. I'm gonna teach you how to think positively." And that has been one of my greatest memory and deeply embedded in me. So that is the story. I did add some touch, just applying those techniques. So I had a premise. I take people in an emotional journey, and there is oxytocin, which is a very great, beautiful story. And at the end, I add this closure or take-home message to wrap it up. So that is my a short video about how you can actually practicing storytelling and actively applying for those techniques.
Alright, that's all for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Leave a thumbs up down below and share your stories if you like in the comment section, and how you can apply those principles and into making it a more engaging and interesting story. Alright, let us know how it goes. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for any future updates. And as always, have a good day, and I will see you on the other one.